Let's use Euler diagrams to see if this argument is valid. So this argument is all poets are writers, some writers are bad spellers, therefore some poets are bad spellers. Now, just like when we were symbolizing arguments and doing the truth tables to see if they were valid, it's worth pausing for a second and trying to decide, do I think this argument is valid or do I think this argument is invalid? So, take a second now, do that. Okay. So to do the Euler diagram here, I'm going to start with my first premise, right? All poets are writers, so that's an all A are B. So I want a circle for poets inside of a circle for writers. Okay, all poets are writers. Now I look at this next premise, some writers are bad spellers, and I know from experience that there are two different pictures I'm going to be able to draw here. So what I'm going to do quick, assuming that I can pull it off, is not that. That is not right. One moment here. Let me grab this. So I'm going to make myself a copy of this. Now when I do this on paper, I actually need to just draw it again. But since I have the board here, I can just make a copy. So I've got two different things that can play out here when I draw my next premise. So some writers are bad spellers could look like, so here's a circle for bad spellers. And some writers are bad spellers, I could have a dot here to represent some of these are those. Okay? Or I could have my circle for bad spellers just intersect with writers and have that dot there. Both of those pictures represent the second premise on top of the first one, that some writers are bad spellers. Now I need to check my conclusion against both of these pictures. So some poets are bad spellers is true in this picture, because there's a dot inside of both poets and bad spellers saying, yes, some of these are those. However, in this picture on the right, that's not true, because the dot for bad spellers is in the writers and bad spellers, only guaranteeing me that and nothing about poets. Since this picture does not work, this argument is invalid. That is very close to the way you would spell that. Okay. This argument is invalid because I can draw a picture from the premises, specifically this one on the right, and have it not match the conclusion.